Name is Juan Fernandez from the Película Puerto Rico. Hey guys, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about the third season of The Umbrella Academy on Netflix. I will be directing questions individually so I can sort of make the virtual situation work. So, David, I mean, still, it doesn't cease to amaze me sort of the latitude of where the tone of the show goes. Like you got the grandfather paradox, and then you got like a character learning what kind of dad they would be if that were to happen. Do you still get surprised by sort of the wild latitude of the tone of what you guys are asked to do in the show, or do you think you have a handle on it already?
No, I mean, I always find it really exciting when I sit down with Steve and he kind of gives me an overview of like what the season's going to look like, especially when we finished season two and I sat down and we did a Zoom together. And when he explained to me season three, like especially with the grandfather paradox, I was like, where do you come up with these things? You know? And then when he said, and there's going to be a big dance. Uh-oh, spoiler. It's gonna be a big thing. It's gonna be a big, big thing. And I'm like, why are you doing this to me, Steve? You know, especially because it's Diego's dream. You know, why are we doing this? And so, but in the end, once you get on the set, you just have to play the realistic tone of it. You know, so then it plays real. And so that's the kind of balance. Like you understand, like, wow, this is really insane. So let me just play the smaller details and the truthfulness of each moment in the scene, and then obviously in the larger picture, you know, it kind of plays hopefully okay.
And it works because each season you get character development within this sort of this crazy scenario, which is the other thing that sort of makes the show special. But Justin, let me ask you this: where, I mean, as an actor, you know, like where did you stand in terms of having this version of Ben? Because there's a throwaway line about "Don't give me the stuff about nurture versus nature." You know, did you think of him as a different character, or did you enjoy sort of like weaving in what was the essence of him into sort of a different context?
Yeah, I think I approached it as a different character. And that was because I knew that my essence would ultimately shine through because I can't change my essence as a human being. And I think so much of my essence is imbued in both versions of Ben. So I think I really tackled it from like, let me treat this as a completely different character. And I think it helped that, I was forced to train physically for the first time in my life and go to the gym, and obviously having the opportunity to work with a vocal coach. I think all of these sort of external physical things help me get into a different headspace for the character.
How about the sort of the chemistry with your new cast members who are the Sparrows? Because it's sort of they have to be formidable foes and be believable as the family, you know. So if you could talk a little bit about that.
We were so fortunate. I mean, the chemistry almost felt immediate. I mean, we all met each other through Zoom right after they had gotten cast. And then we spent another 2 weeks in quarantine in Canada where we got to Zoom even more. And we even had Zoom rehearsals for a certain thing that happens on the show. And the chemistry was almost immediate. And then, when we finally got to set in person, it was great. It's just like the banter felt real and alive in the same way that I think some of the banter with the umbrellas felt as well.
Let me just ask a quick superfluous question. Did anybody, I'm not going to say what I think it is, but did anybody record those Zoom rehearsals? Because that footage must be worth gold, is what I'm thinking. I don't know.
They're all recorded and they're all going to be released.
They're gonna be released.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
even in
So
person too, they had cameras there. They knew exactly what they knew
they,
how ridiculous we were gonna look trying to learn this stuff. So they were like, "This is gonna be really good for behind the scenes footage."
cool. I'm excited that people are going to get to see it. So, David, last question, just because of time. I don't want to spoil the details of it, but it's sort of there is a sort of nice scene with your character and Allison where sort of the tables are flipped, and he's more of a mentor, and the energies are different. Was that fun to sort of get to do with her in particular?
Yeah, of course. I mean, Emmy and I haven't had really any scenes together, even in season one and season two. Very little, especially just have these intimate stuff. So when we got to shoot that, I was obviously very nervous because of just the topic in itself of what they're speaking about, and to really have to dive into like, where does Diego actually feel about this? Like, really, what does he feel about this? And to have a banter with someone else, with Emmy, who's also a person of color, was like having a meeting of the minds, and seeing Diego for the first time kind of drop everything and just be a brother, and speaking to his sister, and seeing that, I thought it was a really beautiful scene. Even the day when we were doing it, it was just like, we were really tight that day.
All right, so it was a pleasure to ask you about it. Good. It is a beautiful scene. My time is up. Pleasure talking to you. Stay safe wherever you are. Okay, thank you for your time.
Muchas
Thank
gracias,
you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Hasta luego.